Hi, my name is Mr. Sharp Game. I'm author of The Chicken's Guide to Having Women Big for You, Sex, Lust, and Lies, and creator of ChooseYourRelationships.com. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the best women you should meet in Japan. And I'm also going to talk about the types of women you're probably going to meet in Japan. And this is something that's very important because it doesn't really matter what country you live in or what environment you live in. All women are not going to be alike, and part of the reason for that is based on the environment that they're in, because you have to always consider and realize that the environment influences people to behave and act in a certain manner. And behavior is controlled by consequences, period. So, in Japan is no different. You still have certain types of women like being in America or any other country for that matter. So now in Japan, it's a little bit different than being in the United States of America. So in Japan, what you have is you're going to meet 3 to 4 types of women. Now, the first type of woman is a good time girl. A good time girl is a typical girl you probably see on television. They just like to have a good time. They like going out to the clubs, drinking, smoking, getting high, have sex. It's just straight up good time girl. Can't take her serious. She's not really serious. She's not really thinking about being serious. She just likes to have a good time. So you call her up when you want to have a good time. Plain and simple. No strings attached. Nothing wrong with it. You just can't start a family with these type of women. You can't really take them serious, regardless if they catch feelings and want to, try to change up the game and say they want to be with you, but you just can't take them serious because they don't have that mindset. They just like having a good time. They're kind of in a cloud. So you got a good time girl. Now the second girl is what I call a floater. Now a floater is kind of the girl that doesn't really get into relationships very much. And she doesn't really get attached to guys very often as well. And she doesn't necessarily sleep with a lot of guys. Very few. She could go months or maybe years without sleeping with a guy. And they tend to be from families that are well off. They might have a pretty good paying job, but they're really looking for a certain type of guy, whatever that is. That could be anything. That could be you, but you won't know that until you really get to know them. If this is a big one, if they let you in and get close to you. So these are what the floaters do. They kind of float around. They're kind of like social butterflies, but they don't get close to men, and they really don't have a lot of contact with men. Now they might meet guys from time to time, but they don't be in a lot of relationships. So they're really trying to find a certain type of guy for them. You just might be that guy, but you won't know it until you get to know them. If they let you in. So that's a floater. And the third type of girl is the girl that's a groupie. Now, the groupie girl, she hangs around the military bases. And Japan has a lot of military bases, from Navy to Air Force, Marines. So she's a groupie girl. She hangs around the military bases because she's hoping one day she's going to get picked up. And she doesn't care what she has to do to get picked up. She'll do almost anything to get picked up. So you don't want to really get too involved with these type of women because they're all over the place mentally and sometimes physically. So you want to stay away from a lot of the women that hang around the base, that's been hanging around guys that's been in the military before you got there. Because if you get to know them and they tell you, well, I've been hanging around here for years and I know a lot of guys that's in the military, blah, 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 this and that, that's kind of a red flag, because if she's been hanging around these military guys for all these years and she hasn't got picked up yet by anybody, then something might be wrong with her. Maybe she's one of those lame chicks, or maybe she just doesn't know what she's doing, or maybe she's just not that type of chick that a guy would want to be with. So be aware of the groupies. They like celebrities, they like guys of status, and they flock to them and they'll do almost anything to get them, but they don't get them most of the time because they don't know how to go about doing it in a way that's not so obvious to everyone else, at least to the guys that they're approaching and hanging around. So be aware of the groupie. And the other female, the fourth type of female you're going to meet, is the female that's kind of middle. I call her the middle class chick, middle class woman. That, her family might be okay. They might not necessarily be well off, but they're okay. They have what they need. They get what they want. Maybe she have a decent paying job. She's not the most educated person in the world, but she's a good person. She's a little confused about a lot of things. She don't necessarily. She might have a lot of misconceptions about a lot of things, or maybe she's been kind of brainwashed on stereotypes about black males and just about Americans in general. And maybe she's very much influenced by her parents, especially her mother. Because if you know anything about the Japanese families, the mother is a huge influence on them. I mean, the father is too, but the father has the last say so, but the mother has a huge impact on them. So maybe their parents fed them a lot of bullshit that wasn't true. And so when you meet her, you gotta explain to her some of this stuff is just not true. They're just telling you that because in reality her parents want to protect her, but at the same time they're holding her back from really being the person that she can be. She can be more if she really open her mind. So really, this is really a good chick that you can really settle down with and have a family with and really build something with, if you can get past the walls and the misconceptions and stereotypes that her parents and her peers have told her and brainwashed her to believe. And even a floater is a woman that possibly you could settle down with one day if you can get past her walls, because like I said, she doesn't really get close to very few guys, if any. So really, in Japan, how I see it is you have two types of women that you should settle down with if you choose to. It's going to be the floater and the middle class chick. The floater and the middle class chick. The good time girl and the groupie. You want to stay far away from them as much as possible, unless you're trying to have a one night stand or something like that. And the fifth type of chick is the rich bitch. The rich bitch. And the thing about being in Japan, it's really very difficult to differentiate from a rich chick to majority of other chicks, because they don't really do anything differently than the other chick. I mean, they might dress a little differently, but they go to the same places. It's not like living in America. In America, we have like high-end spots for people that have money to spend. But in Japan, it's not necessarily like that very much. Most people go to the same spots, and if people want to go to high-end spots, they can go there too. But everyone usually visits the same type of restaurants, hotels, etc. The rich chick is pretty much, if you get lucky, you get with a rich chick. Even if she's rich or well off, she's going to be very laid back, very easygoing, very caring, very she can be a little manipulating as well, but cool, easy to be around, hang around, have fun with. And she might be a long-term friend, but not necessarily in a long-term relationship though, because the rich chick or the well-off chick, she's kind of afraid of commitment. So even if she likes you, it's going to be hard for her to take that leap of faith, the commitment. I mean, it might take years, but if you're in Japan, you might not have that amount of time for her to take that leap of faith. So what I did, because I only stayed in Japan for 3 years, so what I did is became long-term friends with women, the rich chick or the well-off chick, because they have that independent mentality that they're not saying that they don't need a man or want a man, but they don't necessarily know if they want a man long term. So that's why I think it's a good idea to have long-term relationship with the rich chick or the well-off chick. So this video is getting a little bit too long, so I'm gonna cut this short. So if you like what you heard in this video, go to my site chooseyourrelationships.com and opt into my newsletter, and because that's where the real magic happens. So until next time, my name is Mr. Sharp Game, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace and love.